looking at all of this, do you think this 10th assembly, if they were in a position of Ken Nnamani-led assembly then, do you think they could have stopped a President Tinubu if he wants a third term today? Let us even, for the sake of argument.
No, of course, it is not. You see, let me tell you, I think a lot of people are not aware that this country is very deep. Victor, this country is very deep. I can tell you that for free because I have been privileged at a much younger age to be part and parcel of power play, power orchestration and all that at top level. You know, you may choose to ignore me because I'm unimportant. But they say the importance of the unimportant. You may choose to ignore me. But I kept my ears to the ground, my eyes, watching a lot of scenarios. This country is very deep. It doesn't just come as easily as you say them. Where you want to, don't forget that General Sani Abacha was trying to do transmutation. 5 fingers of leprous hand, and everybody was gravitating towards that. Hey, you'd honestly ask for Abacha, this one that, this one that. When it was getting to the climax, when conventions had been concluded, don't forget, the last one was that of grassroots democratic movement, for which I was a member. I was working hand in hand with late Alhaji MD Yusufu, former Inspector General of Police. We went to Borno for our own convention. Al-Mustafa came there. He came with presidential jet twice. They tried to manipulate, and at the end of the day, light went off at El Economic Stadium, the venue of the convention. Before you say Jack Robinson, before light was restored, they finished writing whatever they want to write and all that, and MD Yusufu was said to have been defeated. At that entrance to the El Economic Stadium, they parked a station, a 504 Peugeot 504, green color with flag to symbolize that Abacha. They said that it's Abacha. So when all those soldiers come, they salute, bah, they will go in. Some of them who were watching around and all that. When we finished from this, in the following day, we took off down to Lagos. It was the first time I was ever visiting Maiduguri. We stayed in a Maiduguri hotel. And my brother, the heat that dealt a blow on us, it wasn't easy. But we flew back to Lagos, and we were licking our wounds.
But this National Assembly,
I'm coming back to that. So okay. You see, it is not a matter of saying National Assembly. There are people who own the National Assembly. Really? Yeah, Nigerians. You don't think that you can just get things across.
Remember you said OBJ, second time he was waiting on God. Eventually he got it. And then started thinking of something else. If Tinubu is to get a second term,
yes,
and then begin to think of a third term, do you think that this National Assembly can stop him?
President Tinubu does not have the same mindset with an OBJ.
You think so?
I know so. Please. Let me tell you, I have an uncanny gift of understanding people and knowing their, the elemental idiosyncrasies and undercurrents. An OBJ from 1999 to 2003 was more or less like a stranger in government. He has been in prison for 4 good years, for God's sake. You must give him the credit. He needs to cleanse himself up. He needed to bring himself to reality. You know what I mean? Solitary confinement. So, having been in prison, he needed to shield himself, shelf that prison mentality in him and come to the reality. And by the time he was coming to the reality, it was already 2002. By the time he was sitting down to work, 2003, 2004, 2005. So 2006 again, 2007 was staring him in the face. What have I really achieved? I still have a lot of things to do. That was have been the motivation for him seeking an elongation by whatever means.
Can this National Assembly, assuming
I don't know what to
President
see in this
Tinubu-
National Assembly. I think you have
Can
to
you be
give.
proud of them? Are you proud of them working for Nigerians?
I am proud of this present National Assembly.
Working for Nigeria, you're proud of them working for Nigerians?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. You see, it is easier for you, Victor, and quite a number of persons who share your sentiments, for people to just begin to lampoon, slam, lambast the legislature. But you have forgotten that this legislature is populated by members, majority members of the All Progressive Congress. And the leader of the All Progressive Congress is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, aside from being a president. Now, what Nigerians want to see, for some Nigerians, because a lot of people are quite aware of the political dynamics of legislature, executive relationship, and what have you. Even in civilized democracy, in America, for God's sake, 250 years, they marked recently. How many times did you see Republican challenging a behemoth like Donald Trump, who has become, I don't know what I would use to describe him, but who has become so dominant.
But there are times also the institutions of the state.
I'm coming. Let me finish.
Checkmating.
You see, let me finish. I have not seen institutions of state checkmate anything that has to do with Republican and Democrats. Even when candidates are coming, Donald Trump tells you, I'm not going to support that candidate. He has not been representing our interest. And before you know it, they will substitute, or somebody else will emerge as this thing. They will breathe, executive powers on the process. You see, politics, don't forget that we are learning it from America. There's what in the American democracy, when they were growing up, there was what they call Jacobin Scandal Club. It was peculiar in the days of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and all of that. When the Jacobin Scandal Club, members of Jacobin Scandal Club will scandalize you if they see that you are the one that is like an heir to the throne. Whatever you know how to do more or most, they will give you to do in excess so that you will become fallible. If you love ladies, they will push ladies to you to work in your office. You commit one blunder or the other, they will scandalize you. You won't be able to contest for president again.
So you are saying even when he hurts the people, they are representing a people, a constituents. Even when their people think otherwise, they should just toe the line of the
Can you give me instances and scenarios where you think the people think otherwise?
Let's take, for instance, the issue of the unending borrowing. What of the Electoral Act? What of the creation of the state police? All these things are issues that didn't go through due process.
No, they went through due process. What you tell me is that they didn't go in the line of the minority voices, opposition.
Even the Electoral Act?
Yes.
That many of the National Assembly members are now crying today?
No, you see, that is selfish because it didn't birth them the tickets they wanted. That's selfish.
But the people said we wanted electronic transfer of instant.
Please, I was one of those who argued on the side of saying you need to be careful with just coming up with an item on the menu list of elections and electoral documentations with respect to elections. You cannot wake up in the morning, Victor, and say, Nigeria, you want us to have electronic transmission of result as the only item without having a fallback option. I don't think you know what they call political saboteurs.
In all of this, I want to believe you've spoken like a party man, a member of the APC. I want you to speak as a Nigerian now.
Yeah, you want me to wear the cloak of a dual personality? No,
you're a Nigerian.
No. People always know me for who I am.
Okay, fine.
You see, if I don't subscribe to the oath and membership, doctrine of the APC, then I'm not worthy to be a member. Having been a member as guaranteed by the Constitution of Nigeria, that you want to play politics, you have to be a registered member of a party. I have to subscribe to all the niceties, that make up the APC and that make it tick.
Is it that you can't see any other thing that is also not nice about the party?
You see, let me tell you, I will not bring my party into public to be running commentaries that will undermine it when I should be adding value to its present popularity and strength so that it can become stronger. I have access to every topmost individual in APC. Most of the governors, 80% of the governors, I have access to them. I have their telephone numbers. The president, I have access to him. The vice president, I have access to him. The speaker, the Senate president, don't forget I was the one who handled his media when he was looking for Senate presidency. So when I have access to these people, if I have reservations about certain conduct, I will communicate to them directly. I will send messages to them. And I do that oftentimes. And I learned that from my one and only boss, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. You don't see Babangida criticizing governments, whether local government, state government, or federal government. And when I ask him, he says, I have access to them. I can always tell them my mind. Come on, why did you take this decision? Why didn't you look at it this way? Why didn't you look at it this way? If the president, the governor, or whatever local government, if they decide to take that advice, they will come out stronger as their own initiative. But when you speak it in the public, and they take it, they say, if not be saying that this person is talking for no one. So leadership has its own different categories. And those of us who are honed from the Babangida School of Politics, we don't just genuflect, we don't just talk for talk's sake. We talk with caution, with reason, and with facts. We have access to quite a number of things. It's not everything you have to say in public.
Okay, let's look at it from this context. During Obasanjo era, even when they made attempt at impeaching him, the House was also dominated by members of the PDP. And now, despite being PDP members, they still try to impeach him. So are we saying that the APC-dominated National Assembly can also not stand for the people if the president...
I don't know what... You see, I told you earlier on that a President Obasanjo and the President Tinubu are not the same kind of persons. Even their background not the same.
There are things they've done.
No, you see...
People conceive to be impeachable offense.
You see, listen, I don't know what you say as impeachable offense. I can't see it.